Ross Solomon!
Greetings YouTube, welcome to 0AD Newbie Rush. I'm Jim Cogan and we start the pre-ramble paused because there's a little bit to get through before we start today's pretty much fantastic game. You can see from the lineups it's going to be a bit of a classic. First off, massive apologies for no midweek games, about the third week in a row. Work, holidays, family, and most importantly, bit of a massive COVID scare intertwined within those. It looks like Christmas is saved and nobody appears to have COVID, but it wasn't for it being a close run thing. So I'm really sorry there have not been any midweek games the last few weeks. This one especially, it was all scheduled and then events kind of overtook me. We are in the UK here. The Omicron variant of COVID-19 is absolutely kicking everybody's ass at the moment, and there's going to be a bit of that, but hopefully I've now finished work for the year. Lots of time once we get Christmas out of the way for lots of 0AD on 0AD Newbie Rush, and we're going to start with today's Sunday game. This one is going to be an epic, and we may as well just get straight into it, shall we? Here we are, it's 4v4, it's a mainland medium subalpine map, and let's introduce the players and the teams. So team 1 in the north, in the light blue or cyan, big friend of the channel, Isam96 playing as the Ptolemies, rated 1639. Haven't featured Isam for a little while, but regular contributor in the past to the show, and it's great to have Isam back on here. Moving along, in the yellow, we have WKW, rating 1324, playing as the Seleucids. Don't know much about them. Think I might have seen them once or twice in the lobby, maybe watched one or two of their games, but they are, I'm assuming they're going to be pretty tidy. Let's move along. In the pink or fuchsia colour, we have, now I've got to get this right, it's Vinesh Reddy, rating of 1400, not Vine Shreddy, although I'm probably going to call them that accidentally or for humorous purposes. Also playing as the Ptolemies, Vinesh Reddy. I'll have to get that right. I got so used to calling them Vine Shreddy, I'm probably going to do it by mistake now that I know exactly how to pronounce the name, but never mind. And rounding out team 1, also playing as the Ptolemies, in the red, King Chief. Never heard of them before, rating of 1293. We will see how the Ptolemies and King Chief get on. So we've got Ptolemies on both flanks on team 1. Let's look at team 2 and a potentially mouth-watering flank clash here, because in the purple we have Philip the Swaggerless, rating of 1703, the game's big hitter, facing off against Team 1's big hitter in the form of Isam. So I am intrigued to see how the two of those go at it in this game. It could be a war. Philip the Swaggerless, as I said, rating of 1703, playing as the Athenians. Moving along. In the light, no, this is the normal blue. In the normal blue, Gearin, rating of 1230. Also a recent contributor to the channel. Good guy. Looking forward to seeing Gearin play again. They are playing as the Spartans, and in the green, playing as the Romans, Woodpecker, rating of 1321. I think we've seen Woodpecker once or twice before, but I could be mistaken. I seem to recall they weren't a bad player at all. Moving out finally to round out team 2 in the orange. It's one I can never pronounce. It's OXD3CO.DE. OXD for the rest of this game, playing as the Persians. So this is the flank where we're expecting fireworks between Isam and Philip Swaggerless. Interesting. Who else have we got at the moment leading in terms of population overall? Nothing in it. Everybody's going along at an incredible click here. Woodpecker has a slight lead, although Philip Swaggerless has just pulled level. King Chief has gone in for cavalry a little bit, as has, oh, it's on the two flanks over here. So we have Persians versus Ptolemies. and they've both gone in for a bit of cavalry to try and counteract themselves. So that's OXD, and up here King Chief. So this will be an interesting contest. At the moment, the cav of King Chief are just hunting in this no man's land between the two civs on the flank, looking if anybody else has generated any other cavalry. WKW has over there. He's obviously got some hunt near the base, but populations, it's still, well, they're starting to fan out a little bit now. Vinesh Reddy and Gearin. So Vinesh Reddy over here in the purple, Gearin down here. They've both slightly slipped into the, although a few other people have hit 40 now. So there's not a lot in it. So from OXD, who is bringing up the rear, to Vinesh Reddy and Isam, there's, what is there? There's less than 10 in it. 10 exactly in that case. No. Philip Swagglers has just hit 50. And are we going to see any kind of confrontation? Looks like Isam and Philip the Swaggerless are going for an economy build rather than rushes. We haven't seen any casualties. Everybody, thus far, we're only 4 minutes in, has been reasonably well behaved. Although, look at this. We have hunters from OXD over on this side of the trees, and hunters from King Chief on this side, and the two have not run into each other yet. That's going to be a potential flashpoint. Let's have a look and consult some of the stuff in the Boon GUI mod. I've got to remember to do this more often. So that is the breakdown of units. That's what's in production. And further down, oh, surely they're going to run into each other now, are they? No, they're being incredibly well behaved over there. We have no recorded deaths, which is pretty incredible. Nobody appears to be in the process of phasing up, and these two, although they're running straight past each other, nobody apparently engaging in any kind of combat. Let's have a look at upgrades. So upgrades, mostly it's the farming and woodcutting upgrades that have been taken. Interestingly, both OXD and Woodpecker have not gone in for any upgrades at all. We'll have to see if they fall a little further behind. They're skirting past each other over here, but over this side we have our first attack. WKW has gone straight into Philip Swaggerless's base. Went a bit headlong there. Took a few shots from the CC, and now some of the infantry's gone out to hurl stuff at them. These are Athenian Slinger Militia, and first kill has been recorded, but bit of a stalemate, that one. I don't know why WKW is going back in. That horse is almost dead. There's 3 of them there. They've lost 2 for 1 kill. You would have to say that that probably is not the most successful raid in raiding history. So no, it doesn't really change a great deal, but I've just noticed over here some red dots snaking down the side of OXD's base here, and this is a scout, is it, or is this a raid? This is Vinesh Reddy doing a raid. What has he got here? It's all infantry there, so there's nothing to be had there. Nobody leaving themselves open or exposed. So yeah, Vinesh Reddy went in to try and disrupt things, but didn't really have the desired effect. It's not a ruse for an attack on the other side. So yeah, still just that minor sort of confrontation between WKW and Philip the Swaggerless, and a confrontation that didn't produce anything here from Vinesh Reddy and OXD. So who's winning now? Still nobody's phased up. We are 6 minutes 41. I would expect them to go soon. Philip the Swaggerless has hit 90, and there's a huge gap here. OXD is completely pop capped at 40. How has he not noticed that for quite so long? So the gap now, OXD's in a bit of trouble. King Chief has got a decent population building of 70. It's not the highest, but it is well in front of well in front of Oak 3XD. I'm hearing shooting, and it's Vinesh Reddy who's come in again, but unfortunately that has cost him one of his camel archers. So Vinesh Reddy has not done that very well. Interesting, Philip the Swaggerless is starting the phase 10. It looks like the first person who phases up, it does not get picked up in the Boongui mod. We saw this last week. Once the first one goes, the others seem to work, and you get that indicator there. But at the moment, as he's reached the town phase, we see him, he's in phase 2. He reached it in 7 minutes 31, population of around 90, which is, funnily enough, Gearin, who we've hardly looked at in the game itself, has topped that. And Isam has also hit the magical 100. Nobody else at this stage looking like they are phasing up, and other than these minor skirmishes, not much to report in terms of confrontation. It's been largely economical so far. Interesting. And who would you say is winning? I don't suppose you could say anyone is winning. Philip the Swaggerless has phased up quickly, but Isam 96 has got the slightly larger population, so they're almost even. Although I would expect Isam to go up to phase 2 pretty soon. You don't want to be left behind. It's quite a base he's building. Look at the defensive structure here. Very neatly placed houses. While we're waiting for something to happen, we'll have a look, see how tidy everybody's base is. I still can't believe how far behind OXD ended up. Relatively experienced player, but you know, completely sparse if you can compare it to other bases. Opposite base there, it's coming together. Population's coming together for King Chief, although he's currently pop capped around about 90. Has anybody going in for so it's a mix of 1 or 2 barracks, but has anybody gone in for any kind of interesting upgrades? At the moment it's mostly Isam who's got the most sort of economical upgrade, although Philip the Swaggerless, they're cancelling each other out. The big difference, I've got somebody else. Gearin has gone to phase 2. That was 8 minutes 59, population just over the 100 as well. But it looks like we are in for a fairly conservative phase 1 going into phase 2 from all of the players, and then presumably big battle royale right at the end, as there's some idle horses there sat in the middle. And oh, what's this? That is a lot of troops coming their way. If OXD has forgotten about them, he needs to pull them out of there quick. What's that? It's a watchtower, but it's not a manned watchtower. It's a red watchtower. So they were aware they were there the whole time, and now things are getting interesting. Vinesh Reddy sending a small quota of troops down as well. I think they're making their move on OXD. And OXD, I think, is in trouble. He's got two contingents bearing down on him. He's just running them straight in front of those troops that are attacking. Losses wise, OXD has lost 6, and it's only going to go up. I think he hasn't got many kills. He's got a third now, but it ain't looking good. We see King Chief has phased up whilst he's conducting this attack. Currently a population of 89, but OXD, population of 54, is in trouble already. I think Woodpecker or Gearin are going to have to help him out. Woodpecker's only population of 128, still in phase 1. Isam 96 is phasing up. We're not seeing any confrontation over this side, so this is where we can focus. OXD down to population of 20, and I think they're going to get taken out in phase 1 here. This is atrocious. So, without really, it's not the fact that he's facing a massive military force, it's the fact that OXD ended up pop capped on 40 for what seemed like an eternity. 2 armies come in, and they've made mincemeat of whatever troops there were left. There is population of 80, and I'm not sure where they are. 10. What are they? Where are they? There they are. So, I mean, this has effectively This has effectively removed him as a fighting force. It's just going to be an occupation. They're going to capture all of his buildings and eventually get to phase 3 and knock that down. OXD is absolutely in the crap here. There's not much they're going to be able to do. They've lost the barracks. And their population's down to 5, and there's absolutely not very much they can do about it here. I'm not even sure where their population is hiding. They are supposed to have a population of 5 somewhere. Yeah, there's 3 of them. 3 of them running away. And that's it. Population of 2 now. But where they are, I have no idea. So the attack is going to carry on into Woodpecker's base. So I don't know if Woodpecker is aware. Only person on only 2 people on team 2 who have got the what do they call it? What's it called? The the cartography upgrade. That would be, well, all 3 of them have got it now, apart from OXD. Woodpecker comes in to fight. Starting to see military upgrades being taken by the people in phase 2. We've had some phase 3 ups here. Look at this. So ISAM has got to phase 3. We're seeing Giran is in phase 3 as well. So a few people have started the city phase. ISAM is just going into that phase. Everyone else in phase 2, Vinesh Reddy and OXD with no population hardly at all are both in phase 1, so quite a spread at the moment. ISAM has massed his forces on the border here. And over this side, that's a mining operation by Philip Swaggerless. But still no signs of aggression, although this is interesting. What have we got here? These are... Palasts. It's a load of palasts. They look nasty. So let's see. The continued, well, the occupation has been fought off by Woodpecker. Woodpecker's population hasn't really dipped. They go running back to neutral territory. There are still, there are 4 women there farming, and that is literally it as far as OXD3CO is concerned. He can't make anyone. He needs to get food. He needs wood. He needs everything. He's got nothing. So it's pretty horrendous. And Vinesh Reddy is just trying to capture these houses. And yeah, still taking fire from a CC. So there'll be a residual loss there. Looking throughout the middle, Vinesh Reddy sending another contingent of troops to hassle Woodpecker. Giran is waiting for them this time. He sent a load of infantry and Vinesh Reddy has to back out of it. So they're aware of what's gone on here. Are they going to liberate OXD from this? There's a few troops there just trying to capture this CC. That's not going to happen, is it? So Vinesh Reddy, they're just waiting there. They're just standing by. Populations at the moment. Giran's hit pot max. Philip the Swaggerless has hit pot max. And ISAM 96 has also hit pot max. This is surely going to kick off massively. Right in the middle there with a champion, we have 62 of those palasts and 47 hoplites. Plus we have Ippocrates, if I've pronounced that right, and some battering rams. So we're starting to see siege. Let's have a look at the unit breakdown. Who's got siege? So 3 for Giran. And just the 1 for Philip Swaggerless. But Team 2, despite effectively losing one of their number, they have gone on the aggressive in a big way first. And I think Giran has pulled that contingent of troops back to the Central Territory. So just a reminder to Vinesh Reddy that they are there. Vinesh Reddy has put down a CC. We get the first little bits of lag Everybody keeps asking me, is it to do with shadows or settings on my computer? Is my computer not strong enough? No, I am pretty convinced this is in the game. I don't think it's anything to do with my OBS or computer settings. I think the game itself does this. So, but we're seeing a military colony. We're seeing a temple. We've got a storehouse back there. Vinesh Reddy is trying to occupy this area. Woodpecker is going back in to liberate most of this territory from Vinesh Reddy. We've not seen anything from King Chief after that initial attack. What are we seeing over here? The big ass battle. And it does not appear to be going all that well for ISAM at the moment. Let's have a look. 37 kills, but 82 losses. So Philip Swaggerless has been pretty lethal. The elephants are murdered, and that ram can now continue unfettered to go and knock down some of these buildings. I think they're going for captures. They capture the elephant house. They have captured the elephant house, so that's one of them. They're not going to capture the other one? No, they're leaving the other one. They're going round to do economical damage near the CC. You lure them back out. They are going for the other elephant house. They've got that as well. They've destroyed that. I don't think they're going to get those barracks. They didn't get that one. That's a bit disappointing. But only half captured it. They're definitely going for this one. They've got that one. So huge capture points with the hero there. ISAM is in a bit of trouble. Philip Swaggerless, population of 195. And over this side, Giran has unleashed the rams on Vinesh Reddy. There they are, about to take down this military colony. Vinesh Reddy, he did not commit enough numbers to this expansion and has been soundly kicked out of this area. Woodpecker now building fortress and a siege workshop here. And OXD has got his population back up to 11. They're playing as if he's not there, basically. They've drawn a line under it. He's no longer a fighting force, but they're certainly making up for it. Now, to help out ISAM 96, we are seeing support from WKW, sending what looks like spearmen there, or pikemen. And Philip Swaggerless has hardly lost anybody committing to this assault. It's been quite brutal. And they are still they're cutting them both down. This is pretty brutal indeed. This Athenian army with the hero are looking pretty imperious. If we look at military upgrades, they pretty much both got the upgrades there. It just seems to be the numbers that Philip Swaggerless has been able to commit to this has just been that much greater. We're seeing another battle. We're seeing King Chief go down there. Now, King Chief, I think, should have focused on getting to phase 3. It's not at phase 3. Only him and Vinesh Reddy are not at phase 3, and OXD is still at phase 1. But they should have focused on getting to phase 3, getting themselves strengthened. They're noticeable. They're the ones with the least upgrades. They're now coming up against Giran and Woodpecker, who are armed to the teeth, and they are taking a pasting. They are getting their arses handed to them on a plate. It's not looking good. King Chief, though, has been an effective killing machine. 92 kills, but most of those would have been against OXD. OXD population of 13 now, so not a lot going on there. But look at this. Philip Swaggerless's rams and his infantry have reached ISAM 96's CC. There is support coming in again from WKW. But if you look at his kill stats, only 2 kills for the loss of 42. That is not very effective assistance, is it? So, and already they're getting whittled down just before they even reach the target. This CC is almost destroyed. They've got the capture. So ISAM 96 has suffered the ignominy of having his CC captured by his immediate flank opponent. We thought this would be a big battle, and it doesn't turn out to be. It's been almost like a first round knockdown by Philip Swaggerless. We're only 17 minutes 51 seconds in, and Team 1's big hitter has been absolutely splattered by Philip Swaggerless. Still got a respectable population. So it's not the end of the world. There is the possibility to rebuild. But are they going to hold that CC? They've got 20 troops in it. So unless somebody knocks it down, it's not going anywhere. Interesting times. Interesting times. So it's a twofold army. It's the infantry of ISAM 96 who've been decimated in the last few moments there. They're down to 116. And that CC has finally come down, and it looks like ISAM has decided to take down the entire territory. Either that, or I wonder if that was Philip Swaggerless just got control of them all and pressed the button to wipe them out completely. So that is ISAM 96's entire infrastructure obliterated in under 20 minutes. There is still fighting going on. There's quite a lot of it, but Philip Swaggerless decides to pull back and build up his losses. We've seen, obviously, there's been a bit of combat here. Seen some dead. This was where the attack started. These were the elephants that were killed by Philip Swaggerless, and everybody's still a bit stunned by that. Over this side, we are seeing Woodpecker, and are we seeing Gearin? Gearin's moving up on this side. It's a pincer movement. So a little bit of army of Vinesh ready, and a lot of King Chief, who has now made it to phase 3 and has come up against Rams and hasn't really got anything to stop them, is about to come up against an even bigger army on this side in the shape of Gearin and more Rams, and meet in the sandwich time. They're going nowhere. So it's green, red, whoever these guys are, that's more red. Bit more red there, and right on either side of it is Gearin and Woodpecker here. Woodpecker seems to be running out of steam in that offensive, so that you've got to say, King Chief has been really effective at killing people. He just hasn't been brilliant at upgrading and producing and defending siege. So these guys are fighting valiantly. They are claiming more victims. Gearin, though, I think has got this. Strong troops, lots and lots of Rams. As a little bit more of Vinesh ready comes in. How is it going over this side? Philip Swaggerless, has he just expanded into that gap? Yeah, he's just totally occupied that gap. But look at this for a rebuild. ISAM 96 already got his population back up to near the 100 mark. New CC up, new infrastructure being put down. Very good at rebuilding. Got a hell of a job on his hands here, though, to come back from that. And Philip Swaggerless just looks completely at ease. He has lost 160 nearly troops but killed 300. Far and away the best killing machine in terms of numbers. Although Gearin's got a 2-to-1 kill death ratio. And over here they are almost on the CC of King Chief. This will be a major blow for Team 1 if they lose two of their players, two flanks. It's just the guys in the middle then. I know ISAM 96 has rebuilt. There goes the CC. So Woodpecker and Gearin have worked really, really well in tandem. They were given a free hit at this by OXD capitulating so early, being so far behind the curve in terms of population. We are 21 minutes in, and it's not looking good for King Chief now. Still got positive kill death ratio, still killing people right, left and centre, but losing all of his infrastructure and all of his territory, and it's all gone neutral. So all of that loyalty has been lost. A new CC is being put up there at the back by the female citizens. The army itself is down here facing enormous odds. It's a real Rorke's Drift type situation over here. We are getting some support here from WKW. We saw precisely how effective that support was in the defense of ISAM 96's base. I'm not taking the mickey, but it was not very effective at all. and it doesn't look like this is going to be in any way effective either. So Vinesh Reddy doesn't look like he's got anything that's capable of dealing with rams or this ongoing onslaught. Vinesh Reddy in deficit in the kill-death ratio. It's not been an effective killing machine. And King Chief down to a population of 52. He's largely been removed from the combat. There are a few units in there. Yeah, we're single figures now, so this is just an extermination. And there's a few more there. So not looking good for them. And Philip the Swaggerless has decided that it looks like he's decided that WKW's involvement in this game is going to come to an end. Are they just going to cut in and then head straight down for the CC? There are 2 battering rams in there. There's the hero. There's the same troops that dealt all of that damage to ISAM 96, and they turn up completely unannounced, and WKW is unawares, and this doesn't look good for them. They are snaking across. I think they found... Oh no, 27 female citizens in there collecting the wood. That is going to be an absolute slaughter. They turn tails and go back. So I think they're just going for the infrastructure over here that isn't defended. And as we see, that little bit of assistance they were offering King Chief has been hastily withdrawn as they try and save themselves. And now these 2 armies of Gearin and Woodpecker are giving chase. Over here there is still a small contingent of Woodpecker slaughtering what little troops that King Chief had left, and I think they might try and go for a capture. They may or may not manage it, but they've killed everything there. And it looks like, yeah, these guys are going in for Vinesh Reddy. Over here they've enticed ISAM 96 out, also with a hero of his own, to have a bit of a battle in WKW's territory. And he's just leading them a merry dance at the moment. He's got so many places that he can attack from, but the bulk of his army, Philip the Swaggerless, is right here. They're protecting the rams. ISAM has to retreat. It's a smaller army, and the numbers, I mean, we know how dangerous they are. They're trying to go for a capture, and so it's capture and destroy again for Philip Swaggerless. They're going to destroy that. They haven't yet. They're losing. The loyalty's coming back. Elephant's coming out. And I'm surprised they didn't take that stable down. I guess probably in the heat of the battle, that wasn't the priority. So it's 2 against 1, but you do fancy the one when the one is Philip Swaggerless with this kind of army and in this kind of mood. Over here, there goes basically most of the infrastructure of Vinesh Reddy as Gearin and Woodpecker stream relentlessly towards the CC. That is surely the end of the game for Vinesh Reddy. You might get a few kills on the way down. His population's about to fall below 100. I would say that's a potential resignation right there. Philip Swaggerless has been fought back a little bit. His big army has been somewhat reduced. He's still got a 1.6 kill-death ratio. Gearin up to 2.5. That is ridiculous. And where is this army being sent? Is this army being sent to try and save Vinesh Reddy? I think it's a case of save yourself, to be honest. As Philip Swaggerless heads back, he's done a load of damage and it hasn't knocked anybody over this time. I think if he'd have been decisive and gone straight in for the CC, he might have removed WKW from the equation. But he's gone back to take stock. He's blocking the entrances here. They're building walls just to stop anything sneaking around there. So Philip Swaggerless going for the long game here. More walls built there. Controlling where he wants the combat to happen. It's still a pretty capable army. How are things going over here? ISAM has run straight into Gearin and Woodpecker. It is a big force, but the Rams are still going. And will Philip the Swell, the Rams are going to run straight into the Elephants. And they won't get very far, will they? They are destroyed already. And is this a little bit of a fight back? No. ISAM 96 has to withdraw. There isn't that much left now of this combined force of Gearin and Woodpecker. Gearin is near Potmax though, so he has got reinforcements that he can deploy. And he's just been absolutely brutal in this game as Gearin. He's been really, really good. And another attacking wave here. Yeah, this is Philip Swaggerless going again, pulling troops from all over the place and looking to see if he can now go in. And now that ISAM 96 has been weakened slightly by fighting on those two flanks, Gearin has drawn them into the middle along with whatever's left of Woodpecker, and in comes Philip Swaggerless. This is a really good performance considering that they were down to a team of 3 after, in under 20 minutes. So pretty impressive. Vinesh Reddy is still there, but down to a population of 51 in that same situation that King Chief finds himself in. Only they've not lost completely all of their infrastructure, but still the slaughter goes on. So it's WKW now who's feeling the feeling the Athenian steel at the moment. Woodpecker's still got forces in there, and Gearin's still in there, mopping up whatever is in the middle. It's a dirty job, and look at the body count. There's a few of his own, but dead elephants, blood, and corpses litter the battlefield as they're closing in on WKW. How are people doing? Who's got the upgrades? Has anybody got will to fight or anything like that? Yeah, Woodpecker's got will to fight. The only player who has. That probably explains why they've been able to get so far around the map with seemingly a smaller army. Interesting. Military upgrades, it's all fairly even. It's worth noting OXD, Vinesh Reddy and King Chief had the least upgrades. And they were the people that have been able to offer the least resistance. And CC is in serious danger now. They can't quite get the rams to it. They're committing to this fight. And ISAM is having to go in, have a quick attack and pull back. They know they're outnumbered. It will not be denied. That ram has broken a gap through. It's taking down the houses. Is there more siege on the way to finish this off? It's complete disarray in WKW's base there. He's giving territory all of the time. The ram is now going in for the kill. Is it supported well enough by these other troops? I think it's going to be. WKW, I don't think is going to be able to defend this. And I think ISAM must know the game is up here. Credit to all the players for having a really, really good go at this and letting the battle develop. I think a lot of players would have resigned quite early on with the way that it's going. WKW down to a population of 100, and that CC is half destroyed. Are they going for a capture here as well? Surely not. They are. They've got it. So Philip Swaggerless captures another CC. And he immediately garrisons it again. So this is exactly what he did to ISAM 96. We still haven't seen any resignations. We've got a few homeless players. We've got absolute carnage. And as it starts to fall under Philip Swaggerless's control from controlling that CC, I'm sure we will see exactly what he did to ISAM 96 again. He's got a fortress up in double quick time to try and hold on to that loyalty, so it won't be a complete annihilation. But it's heading that way. We've had a resignation. WKW has resigned. ISAM has resigned. And that is the end. We are left with King Chief and OXD. Is that right? The order has gone completely crazy here. Yeah, King Chief is the only one left from Team 1. And he's right the way over there. And he's only got 52 population. So are they all going to descend upon him and finish him off now? I got confused there, didn't I, obviously? So they're chasing an army around, so OXD will be able to tell them where they are. No, that's the end. They finish quite rightly at that point. So it ended with King Chief being the only representative of Team 1 chasing a small representative of another player who was not really taking part in that game, it has to be said, after the first sort of 15-20 minutes or so. But there was only clearly one winner in that, and that was Team 2, headed up by the absolutely phenomenal Philip the Swaggerless. I don't think I've covered them on the show before, so yeah, that was pretty brutal. I thought ISAM96 would give him some serious opposition, but not a bit of it. He just knocked over everywhere he went. Credit to Woodpecker, Gear and Gearin as well, having lost that flank on the side. OXD really was out of his depth there. They came back, they took down King Chief, they took down Vinesh Reddy, and then everybody had a go and took out WKW. ISAM had rebuilt, but he was never the fighting force again after losing his CC in such brutal fashion in the first 20 minutes, in the first major confrontation he had with Philip the Swaggerless. Philip the Swaggerless is one of those players who just seems to play the game in his own time. He attacks, makes it look like he always meant to attack at that point. That was a really exciting performance from him. Scores wise, pretty comprehensive. Team 2 win with a score of 47,449, placed 38,460. They were economically superior, they were certainly militarily superior, and they saw more of the map. So across the board sweep, you can be in no doubt who won that game. Let's have a look at the kill death ratios. Kill death ratios, Gearin 2.52. Didn't hit any serious opposition, but like I said, the most kills had to be it had to be Philip the Swaggerless. Got 592. Having said that, Gearin got 600. So yeah, between the two of them, they certainly knew how to murder people. Woodpecker supported well, although did end up in deficit on the kill death ratio. Nobody really did brilliantly on Team 1. Chief finished positive kill death ratio, but most of that was gained by knocking over OXD early on in the game. ISAM96, we didn't get to see a lot of him in an attacking capacity. It was very much rearguard action, defending, and in the first 20 minutes getting a little bit of an ass whooping. So there we go. Let's have a look at how things built up. So this is the mystery stat here. What was OXD doing to be so far behind? I know he got stuck at 40. That must represent nearly 5 minutes there to get stuck at 40. That makes no sense at all. I wonder if we could see it in the population levels. Yeah, it was right there. So that's what put him at such a disadvantage. And then that attack happened there and his entire population was gone. It should have really been, if he'd have carried on the trajectory there, he could have held that. He would have probably, even if he was falling behind, anywhere, if he picked up his population sooner, it would have been better. But yeah, so that went terribly wrong. Everybody else went along at a fair old pace. ISAM96 and Philip Swaggerless, as you would expect, were the leading population makers. Gearin, very good indeed. Gearin, I think, is a quality player. The more I see of them, the better I think they are. And ISAM, we know, is a good player. He did come from having half his army wiped out to getting back to pot max. But Philip the Swaggerless, what can you say about him? And Vinesh Reddy was not ready. We'll start calling him Vine Shreddy again. He got absolutely shredded. There's no two ways about it. So, most valuable player, it's got to be Philip the Swaggerless. He took the toughest player on Team 1 out single-handed. In fact, even being helped by his teammate, it was not enough, and Philip Swaggler's, for me, has to be the most valuable player in that game. What a game! It was a bit of a belter, short and sweet, only 29 minutes 35. My waffle at the beginning and the end will probably add 10 minutes to this, but I hope you really enjoyed that one. There will be more games coming up very soon. I know I've been saying that for the past 3 weeks, and I can't predict when things go wrong with the COVID and stuff. But yeah, I'm off work now. I have got some time to dedicate to doing commentaries, and there will be some. I've got a backlog of about 15, 16 games that you, the viewers, have kindly sent me. And if you're wondering where your game is, it's in that queue. I never forget. So to a lot of the people who've been waiting for weeks and weeks, especially the 1v1 games, yeah, I haven't forgotten any of you. I will try and get them done as soon as possible, and we'll try and get a good lot of bumper content for the holiday period. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the game. For the last thing, sorry, just to mention, Gearin submitted that game, and a very good game it was too. Congratulations to Gearin, congratulations to Team 2, special congratulations to Philip Swaggerless for that performance. And I will see you all in the next game, hopefully sooner than later. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a comment, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon to be notified of future episodes. If you'd like one of your matches featured on the show, see the video description of how you can submit your replays. And if you can't wait for the next episode, then why not check out these playlists in the end titles for more replays, commentary and tutorials on 0AD Newbie Rush. I'll see you in the next video.